Hello there. Welcome to Blitz Transmissions. I'm Tommy. This is the Blitzcast number 34. Before we get into the content of this week's episode of the Blitzcast, make sure to check out the laundry list of links that are in the description below. First thing you could check out is the Patreon link. If you're an ARC trooper in my Patreon, you would have seen this podcast early if you'd like access to early content, monthly giveaways, and more amazing benefits.
Dump the wallet.
You can check out the link to my Patreon in the description below. In addition to that, if you're into the YouTube channel, you're watching on YouTube, you want to support specifically YouTube or things like that, you could check out my channel membership, Rancor Battalion, for just 99 cents a month. You get exclusive badges in my comment section, priority responses in my comment section. You also get early access to the reviews on the channel, and you get to vote on what I review next. All of those benefits also apply to the Patreon except for the badges because that's just YouTube. You can check out that link in the description below. In addition to that, guys, check out links to, if you want some swag, like this Blitz Transmissions trucker hat that I have on in this episode, even though I'm wearing it backwards and you can't see the logo on the front. Absolutely. You could check that out. Printify. That link is in the description below. You could also check out links to my Discord, my Instagram, my Blitz Bounties Instagram, my X page, and my TikTok. Guys, I'm sure you've heard him interrupting Cow Moo several times already in this intro. We finally let him out the dungeon. It's because he's forced to stay at my house this weekend.
God.
We're here with the Napkin. He's back. Napkin. Yep. How we doing?
Pretty solid. Peak door is out.
Ain't easy being cheesy. Ain't that right, Cheesy Napkin?
Yep. With this garbage podcaster next to me.
Yeah.
I carry the show.
Yeah, dude.
Definitely.
If you're watching, you would see this is probably, I think this is my first on-camera appearance. I did post this with my Instagram story, but this is I've shaved the beard, guys. The place at which I work does not allow beards from the months of May to October, so I guess May to November, I should say.
We got the chopped mustache.
So we are allowed to have mustaches. So I said, hey, I'm gonna bring the mustache out. So
it's iconic for cops.
Let me know if you guys like the mustache. Comment. Let me know if you think it looks like garbage. Let me know. I kind of like it. I'm kind of banging with the mustache.
Please grift and hate in the comments. Please, we beg you.
It's nice and full. Nice and full. Yeah. So, Logan, we've had quite a fun week this week for Star Wars. We wrapped up Star Wars Celebration, so we're going to get into that. I'm going to kind of recover some of the things, recap some of the stuff we talked about last week briefly with Jen. I know you guys were excited to hear our Star Wars ranking this week, but, now we have Andor, and now we have...
Peak Door, you mean.
Peak Door that Logan didn't even watch all of yet, and...
I was tired, dude.
So we got that to talk about, and we also have some other stuff to talk about. So one thing I want to talk about first is, just the other day, we got to go see Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, in the theaters for the 20th anniversary. I'm going to go grab my popcorn bucket because we did get the popcorn bucket.
It's right there. Literally like the coolest bucket ever.
Out of the merch they had for this movie re-releasing,
that was the best.
This is the only thing I really wanted. Like I could live without inside. Yeah, I could live without the sippy cup. You could see the Imperial cog on the inside there. I could live without the sippy cup or the big cup. Also, if I sound a little congested, I got sick this week. That's why you didn't see a lot of content come out on the channel this week, because I got really sick.
And I've got allergies, so...
Really bad head cold, I think, is what it was. And because of that, I messed with my voice. I slept a lot this week, so Logan is also getting it. It's also just that time of year for, seasonal allergies and stuff, so... if I sound a little different, or if I'm coughing, or, clearing my throat a lot, that's why. But yeah, that's why I think we only had one video come out this week, and that's why I haven't been doing the short form content and stuff this week. It's been a rough week as far as doing that stuff, but
content must come out.
The content must flow. Yeah, that's all I got to say. The content must continue. So Logan, what was it like to go see Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith? Was it the most mediocre?
It was the most garbage thing I've ever seen. Star Wars 77 is peak. No, I was very happy to see it in theaters finally, because that's always been the one movie I really wanted to see in theaters. Because, like, we obviously saw Phantom Menace last year. So that was cool, because it's like, it's Phantom Menace, you got the Maul fight, just Maul in general, you got peak Jar Jar in that movie.
Jar Jar peak?
He literally carries that movie. But it was cool to see the little snippet with Hayden in the beginning.
I forgot they did that, yeah.
If only he actually showed up to the theater. We're just not rich enough and don't live in LA.
Major L. If only all the cool stuff happened where we live,
but
not LA.
It was so cool finally getting to see all those scenes on the big screen and stuff, especially Duel of the Fates, like Yoda's fight. Literally the best stuff I've ever seen. And we didn't have a bad theater. We actually got a good theater.
We had a really good audience. I really have to say, for as much as I was dreading, I literally made a whole video about it on the channel a couple weeks ago.
Chicken jockey.
Talking about, like, just my apprehension, I guess, to this movie, because of all the reaction to the Minecraft movie.
Throwing flaming popcorn at it.
Well, and I gotta say, I know you and I looked at each other during the previews because we saw, like, several large groups of loud teenagers.
Well, I only started to get worried when the one girl said chicken jockey to her friend.
There was a group of loud teenagers in the front of the theater and one in the back, and they were really loud during the previews, so I was really worried that they were just going to be talking the whole movie. Then, like Logan said, before the during the previews, there was a girl behind us that said chicken jockey out of nowhere, and me and Logan and Bly and Jen went with us as well, but me and Logan and Bly looked at each other and went, oh, this theater's cooked. This is not going to be a good...
No crying babies, though.
No, it was great, though.
I feel like a crying baby is worse than people screaming.
Yes, oh yeah. But, I mean, it was great. I think it was because they had the sound was nice and loud.
Yeah.
The whole movie.
I felt it could have been louder.
Some movies I've been to recently, the sound has been really quiet. This movie was nice and loud, and the volume really surrounded you. And the audience, the audience really was great. You'd have some little chuckles, like at some of the meme moments, like
hello there,
when Anakin ignites his lightsaber in front of the younglings, or when Obi-Wan says, "I have the high ground,"
or when Yoda shoves the guards into the wall.
Yeah, like just little moments like that, where you'd hear like a very faint chuckle, but yeah. Honestly, the best movie viewing experience I've had in a long time.
For the best movie ever created.
I am going to try to go again before it closes. I think Wednesday.
Dad's going today. A second time.
Yeah. I think it's here till...
In the AMC theater.
I think it's here till the 30th. So I'm going to try and go again before Wednesday the 30th. But yeah, honestly, if you guys...
Plo Koon dies on screen.
If you guys haven't gone yet to see Revenge of the Sith, you definitely should. I've never gotten to see that movie in theaters.
Yeah, I thought you did.
I was just a little too young to have seen it in theaters. So to be able to witness it for the first time was really special. I got emotional a couple times. Not like tears welling up, but like just like that beginning sequence when the opening crawl ends and then you see the interceptors and the battle, like that whole opening. I was like, that genuine hype. I
was like cheesing the whole movie, and I look over and like Dad's got some tears in his eyes, you got some tears in your eyes, Jen had some tears in her eyes at the end of the movie. I'm like, am I wrong for smiling because I get to see the peak on the screen?
I did get a little emotional during Padme's funeral because now when I watch that scene,
I look for Ahsoka.
I know that Ahsoka was there. Yeah.
I always look for Ahsoka and I never see her.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't cry or anything, but like, just as a Star Wars fan and as a prequel kid, that experience of seeing a movie that you've revered your entire life is very special, Yeah. And I hope that everybody else that goes and sees it has a great time. I encourage you, if you don't plan on seeing it, to go. Don't miss this opportunity. Because
it's really special.
It probably won't come back to theaters for a good 5 years until the 25th anniversary of the movie. Yeah, that's all I have to say on that. Any additional thoughts on that, Logan?
Not really. I feel like seeing Order 66 in the theaters was absolutely amazing. Seeing the march on the temple was so much cooler than I imagined.
It was peak. Yeah. And for all my real fans out there, one of my other favorite parts was when Bail Organa went to go save his son.
Dude, his son, yeah.
Jet Tsukasa.
His son. It's definitely his son.
Yep, totally his son.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. Real ones know. Anyways, guys, let's move on. Let's change gears a little bit.
I didn't see the Mythosaur.
Where was it? Jesus. All right. Before I get copyright stricken for my previous employment, let's talk about Star Wars Celebration. Let's change gears a little bit. Logan, just to kind of recap and get your quick thoughts on stuff that we talked about last week on the Blitzcast. What are your thoughts on some of the announcements? For example, we know that movies made by Taika Waititi, Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, who we know is working on a Rey movie.
I don't even know who that is.
She worked on documentaries. That's all she's...
So I wouldn't know who that is.
No. Simon Kinberg is getting a trilogy of Star Wars movies, and James Mangold and his Dawn of the Jedi movie. Kathleen Kennedy and Dave Filoni came out on the main stage of the opening ceremony and said, hey, all these movies, regardless of what you heard about them being canceled, they're all still happening.
I'm not going to get excited until I see them coming out in theaters.
Based opinion, but it was nice to hear them actually make an official statement.
Because it's still an empty promise.
Yep. Now, what about the announcement? Sean Levy is getting a Star Wars movie coming out in May 2027. And it's starring...
I don't know who Sean Levy is.
Starring Ryan Gosling. Called Star Wars Starfighter. It's going to be a standalone movie. Takes place 5 years after The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, so garbage. Okay.
How do you feel about that? Anything at all? Any thoughts?
No. I think it's just going to be fun. That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Because Ryan Gosling is a very good actor, so...
Yeah. What about the announcement of The Mandalorian and Grogu coming out in May of 2026?
I'm so hyped. That's it. I'm just so hyped. Finally finishing all the stories from all the different shows.
Yeah.
It's going to be peak.
It's going to be peak.
It's going to get a lot of money.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. How about the animated series Maul Shadow Lord?
Yeah, I literally forgot about that. I'm so hyped for that now. Yeah. Like, especially because they're doing Clone Wars animation. Right?
Yes, they are. And
Maul and Clone Wars animation go together so well.
Yeah.
So well.
So this is going to take place like as soon as Clone Wars Season 7 ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets taken, though. Or no, that he escapes.
He escapes.
I don't know why I forget that.
Yeah, he escapes. Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've watched.
It's been a long time since I killed a Jedi.
I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, me too.
How he gets into that one Sith temple.
Thoughts on Darth Talon being in the show?
Baddie.
Logan is a Darth Talon gooner, confirmed.
We all are. We all are.
A gooner.
You included for watching this. Yes, you are.
Goon Maxon.
Jelk Maxon. Very good people. Goon and Jelk to Darth Talon.
Only the classiest of people. Goon to Darth Talon.
Wait, why does she look like a Zabrak?
So, I think the lore is that she is a Twi'lek, but she gets body tattoos to match Darth Maul out of like, respect for Darth Maul.
Isn't she, like, really old then? Because I thought she was, like...
No, she's, like, younger in the show.
Oh. So they, like, change stuff for that?
Yeah. Well, because in the original lore, Darth Maul lives past the original trilogy.
Oh.
And after Return of the Jedi... he is the main villain and Darth Talon is his apprentice. Yeah.
So they had to change a ton.
Yeah.
I just didn't know this stuff.
Well,
absolute nerd.
And a lot of this has been retconned for a long time because Darth Maul in the current canon, gets killed by Ben Kenobi.
Yeah.
In Rebels before the original trilogy even starts.
Bird's cut in half.
Yeah. So there's going to be a full series too, not like a Tales of.
Yeah.
Full animated
Tales of the Clones when?
When Star Wars? When? I want Clone Trooper.
I want blue one.
I want red one.
I want Band-Aid one.
I want yellow one.
I want purple one.
I want Hunchback one.
I want Build-A-Figure one.
Shout out to the Build-A-Figure grandmas out there. So now we're going to get into some of the other stuff here. So Dave Filoni did say that Ahsoka Season 2 will begin filming as soon as Dave Filoni gets back to the United States from Star Wars Celebration Japan. So in a way, it could be underway right now as we speak. Ahsoka Season 2 could be filmed.
I'm hyped.
Me too.
I'm hyped.
Me too. It's going to be great.
Abeloth?
Really actually hoping for Abeloth.
They'll probably show her.
I think they've set it up nicely.
They'll probably show Octopus Mommy.
Did you see the pics of Rory McCann as Baden
I don't even
Skoll?
know who that is. So.
He is the guy that's replacing Ray Stevenson.
Does he look like him?
No, but...
Cooked.
Two things. I have heard nothing but people saying that he is a phenomenal actor. And he was also a really close friend of Ray Stevenson.
Oh.
So I think he will take the role very seriously. I am looking for that picture real quick, so bear with me.
We're bearing, guys.
We're bearing.
For this garbage can.
No, don't say that.
For garbage transmissions.
No, here it is.
He looks like Santa Claus.
Yeah, it's like, obviously they don't have the same facial structure.
They'll probably edit.
No.
Oh, that's it?
That's just going to be him.
So he's thinned up over time? Is that the lore?
I know Rory McCann's like in Game of Thrones and stuff, so he's a good actor.
They could just say he's like gotten older and thinned up over time.
Yeah. Dave Filoni did an interview. He said that Hayden Christensen will be back for Season 2 as Anakin.
Peak.
Admiral Akbar will be back and play a pretty good big role. Ezra will play a pretty big role, and he said there will be a lot of war in this season, and that Thrawn will be essentially tearing up the galaxy while Ahsoka, Sabine, and Huyang are stuck on Peridia. And it's going to be mainly Hera and Admiral Akbar against Thrawn.
I'm excited.
I'm really excited. Yeah.
Bring back the whales to kill Thrawn.
I mean, it didn't work the last time, though.
Kinda did.
No, it didn't.
Kinda.
No, it didn't.
Okay.
No, I don't think so.
Garbage transmissions.
No. So, yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I loved Ahsoka Season 1. It's one of my favorite things that Disney Star Wars has put out at all.
Wait, did you just say Disney Star Wars?
Disney woke! Disney ruined Star Wars! Disney! Ah!
Garbage.
I hate Disney Star Wars so much!
I'm so unique for thinking that.
I'm so intellectual.
I'm smarter than you.
I'm such an intellectual.
I'm a better fan than you.
I'm such a smarter fan, guys.
I'm a better fence rider.
Let me lore dump on you all these books that I never read, but I only heard about on Wikipedia a long time ago.
I changed it on Wikipedia.
Guys, the expanded universe was totally canon, I swear.
This all happened.
Actual conversations I have with people. I'm not straw man. This is actual conversations.
Wow, we should talk about Peak Door.
Before we talk about Peak Door, did you see the trailer for Star Wars Zero Company, the new Star Wars video game? All right, good night, Iran.
Good night, Iran. What about a droid attack on the Wookiees?
Oh, that's right. What about the droid attack on the Wookiees? Good relations with the Wookiees I have.
Good relations Will Bond has with them.
Good relations with the Will Boners I have. Shout out to Monday Night Figure Ball. Shout out Will.
Yep. BBC Zoo Boy. Coffee. Unk.
Any other remarks?
I wasn't the one that made that name, dude. I wasn't.
All right, whatever. So, Star Wars Zero Company.
Yeah, anyway.
Is a single-player turn-based tactics game made by Respawn.
Oh, it's already good.
Clone Wars era.
It's already good?
You play as a group of, basically a Special Forces tactical group made up of a smuggler, his astromech droid, a clone trooper, an Umbaran sniper, a Jedi that's 2-tube species, and a Mandalorian.
Peak. I'm buying it.
Peak. And you fight separatists.
I'm buying
the
it.
Entire, like, battle droids.
I'm literally buying that immediately when it comes out. I'm going to pre-order it, actually.
Yeah, I'm in.
When's it come out?
I don't remember.
I'm buying it.
Let me show you the picture of the poster.
Because Respawn literally made my favorite game in the world, Titanfall.
This dude pays no attention to anything.
Yeah, I really don't. I'm so lost when it comes to news.
Did you also see on May the 4th that if you go to a GameStop store and buy this helmet, you get this challenge coin?
No.
Yeah, isn't that cool? Let me find the...
Too bad it's the Garbage Legion. We want orange one.
Let me find the
We want
poster.
Beehive one.
I want a red one.
I want a Gungan one.
What the heck? Where's this poster at?
What the frick? So that's the camera, dude.
No. Hang on. Bear with me. I'm trying to find this poster. Talk to the audience while I...
Talk to her.
Talk to the audience. I'm losing.
We're waiting to talk about Peak
Here we go.
Right? Or am I good?
Here we go.
That looks awesome.
Yeah, I know, right?
That looks so cool.
That looks sick.
That looks awesome.
All right, Logan.
I'm interested why they picked the Umbaran, but, you know.
So, I'm trying to think if there was anything... Oh, Star Wars Celebration 2027. There will not be a celebration in 2026.
Why not?
I don't know. They're just doing an every other year thing now. Star Wars Celebration 2027 will be in Los Angeles, California. So guess who's going? This guy.
No, he's not.
Yes, I am.
No, he's not.
I will be happily wed by that point. I will not have a wedding to save up for anymore. So I'll be able to dump copious amounts of money into Star Wars.
We're going to be married and employed in the same time.
Based. It's the American dream.
No, it's not.
Be in copious amounts of debt. And be...
Don't go to college.
And be in a nuclear family.
Don't go to college.
Let's go.
Don't go to college.
Don't... go to college if it makes sense for you. That's how I'll put that. Bro
thinks he's Shakespeare.
Realistically, probably didn't make sense for me. Just saying.
It really didn't.
I'm just saying. Just gotta say. So, Logan.
Peak door.
We got...
Having only watched the first episode.
I must say, if we missed anything Star Wars Celebration that you want us to talk about in a future episode, make sure to comment if you want to hear my thoughts specifically, because odds are he's going back in the dungeon next week. So.
Yeah, I will have no news.
Okay, talk to me. Peak door. First of all, Logan only saw the first episode.
Because I got tired.
Lay it down, Logan. How we feeling?
It opened up already with questions, which is how I like shows to open up.
Okay.
Especially if it's like a second season.
Okay.
I thought it was just like a normal TIE Advance,
Yeah.
or not TIE Advance, TIE Interceptor.
Yeah.
But I also realized it looked a little different over time. Like, more looks at it, I was like, oh, that's something new.
Right.
And then it cuts to Cassian after a little bit, after this woman like setting up all the stuff. And I immediately thought he had an Inferno Squad fit on because the shades.
Oh, right.
But
yeah.
it was orange, so it wasn't. But the helmet looked really similar. It had the exact same red Imperial cogs on the helmet. But anyway, so yeah, he goes down there. I don't know why he just like jumped in the ship and assumed he was gonna like fly it perfectly.
I guess that like it was just more high tech than other TIE fighters.
I think him absolutely disintegrating stormtroopers was my favorite scene ever. That was so cool.
That's pretty sick.
And I also kind of figured it was like, this is a new like prototype. When I saw the miniguns drop down and spin, that was so cool.
Yeah.
And then that one dude reloading the rocket, he just gets eviscerated. That looked like an Umbaran cannon.
That's pretty sick.
I think they actually probably based it off of that because it sounded like
They might have. Yeah, they might have.
It shot like it too. That was cool. But, like, it literally felt like an Umbaran ship now that I'm feeling about it, if you think.
Yeah.
They had those, like, rapid-fire cannons. They had the big, like, I don't even know how to describe it, that just ball of, like, energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Such a cool
torpedo
ship.
Or something.
Yeah. And then when he shoots all the missiles out and he's, like, going on, that was cool.
Yeah.
What were those TIE fighters behind him?
Those
were like the...
Those are from Star Wars Rebels.
I know, but like...
Those are the...
OG TIEs?
The precursor to Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. The TIE Advance.
Because I noticed those were from the Rebels, and I was like...
Yeah, those are the ones that the Inquisitors fly.
This is like early Empire still. Not like too early, but it's pretty early still.
No, we're probably like 4 years away from A New Hope.
Well, still, they're making stuff like that.
Yeah, obviously, though, it's like an experimental TIE fighter facility.
Yeah. I did like that, though, how they just opened up with that, like, facility.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Andor has Riz in the episode.
Andor has W. Riz on the Huz.
Yeah, the Chuz.
The Chuz. Yeah, let's be real.
The Stuz, Star Wars Huz.
The Stuz.
The Stud Huz. But anyway, I think the most insufferable part about that whole episode were those pirate guys, or whatever they were supposed to be.
So they're a rebel cell.
I hate them.
They're a rebel cell that, like, lost a battle and crash landed on Yavin. Which that was... Oops. Might have spoiled that.
Spoiler. I kind of figured it was Yavin, though.
Yeah, that planet is Yavin 4.
It was pretty obvious it was Yavin.
See, this is what happens when Bozo over here only watched the first episode, didn't do his homework, and I watched all 3.
Well, I actually am more observant than you are, and I knew it was Yavin.
Right, for sure, totally.
No, I actually did know it was Yavin. And then, I didn't say didn't, but then he's looking for Porco, or whatever his name is, right? He's dead, right? Because they kind of alluded to that. Those pirates, I'm like so confused. Rebel cells. I'm so confused with them. Like, they just kind of introduce them, and the one guy won't shut up.
So they kind of represent... It's less so about them and more so, like, what they represent in the story. They kind of represent the state of the rebellion, because it's not yet the Rebel Alliance.
Like, still in charge.
You just have a bunch of groups that are on the same side, but are too busy fighting with each other because no one will let one person be the leader.
Oh.
So they need one leader to turn to unite them, but they end up destroying each other because they're so busy, worrying about the wrong things, when what they should be worrying about is working together towards a common goal, which is defeating the evil empire.
They're very stubborn, and it made me angry.
Yeah.
He's definitely a pilot, dude. He only said he's not, and proved it to us like 8 times, but he's definitely a pilot.
Yeah.
I don't know, they kind of made me angry, and I got a little upset having to watch them. But then, Krennic, introducing Krennic and making him already goated.
Based Krennic.
Dude, Dedra Meero's the ugliest character.
Dedra Mommy?
Not sure about that.
Dedra Mommy? I mean Meero?
I don't know about that, dude. I think that's a little bit of a stretch. She's pretty ugly. She always got this stank face on her.
I'd let her tell me what to do.
And the crowd's nowhere. The crowd left a long time ago.
Where all my Dedra stands at.
Not a single one.
Let me know where all my Dedra stands are at.
No, but that council is cool. I'm excited to see what they do with the Gormans. The
Gorman front. Yeah. I liked that little, like, old school video.
Yeah, it was so funny to me.
About the spiders. Yeah, how about what were they called? The something of enlightenment.
I don't remember.
Ministry. The Ministry.
Yeah, that's their organization.
That is actually something straight out of Nazi Germany. The Ministry of Public Enlightenment. Yeah. Shout out to Germania from the Monday Night Figure Ball family for sending me an article to read about the Ministry of Public Enlightenment.
I didn't know that.
Which was a Nazi organization that would, quote unquote, teach you about how awful groups of people are. How cool is that? That they took that, literally the...
It is actually cool.
Literally the Empire, who are literally space Nazis, and took something specific from that regime cool. And put it into Star Wars.
I actually do like that.
Yeah, very clever. Yeah, I like stuff.
I'm a fan of Krennic because he's such a good villain in my opinion.
Ben Mendelsohn is just a fantastic actor.
He really is.
By the way, yeah.
I'm so happy he's already, like, you can tell he hasn't changed at all.
No.
Like, from there to Rogue One, he doesn't change at all. He's still very stubborn. He's still very set in his ways. He's still very, like, I want to get this done. I'm very important.
But it's cool.
I want to be the one getting all the credit.
I like that in this show, Krennic is, like, top of the food chain.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, in Rogue One...
He wanted to be, but he wasn't.
He's constantly fighting with people higher than him, like Tarkin or Vader.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole movie. Whereas in this, you get to see him charge. The top dog. Yeah. Yeah.
He does a very good job of being in charge.
Did we see any... What all did we see from Dedra in this episode? Because I don't want to spoil anything.
She's trying to be nonchalant, even though she's, like... She figures out stuff quickly, as he says.
Did you see her back on Coruscant in this episode? Okay.
Or I might have. I don't remember.
I won't spoil anything then.
No, does she, like, actively go back, or is it a memory?
Oh, she goes back and...
No, I didn't see that yet.
One word. Cyril.
Choptal?
I mean, he's got Riz. That's all I'll say.
No way.
I mean...
No way. No way. It's no longer Peak Door. I hate this show.
It's a rom-com at this point, guys.
Chopped. Done. So, I don't remember a lot from season 1. I don't remember that doctor that Bix has the,
Oh, the nightmare about.
Yeah.
So that is the doctor. Remember when Dedra captured her in season 1 and took her to the hotel?
Mm-hmm.
And they put that, like, headphones on her head?
Yeah. It played that, like, loud noise.
I almost didn't catch it either, but then when I realized, like, she was having a nightmare, and it wasn't just, like, a guy, you know, I was like, oh, that's the, you know, I made the connect. I was like, that's the doctor from season 1. Yeah. Because
I was sitting there with Jen, and she was, like, trying to explain to me who that dude was, and I was like, I don't remember him.
Yeah, that's the doctor that put the headphones on her head with the screams of the dying people.
Bro was geeking.
So she literally will be haunted by that for the rest of her life. Yeah.
Yeah. So, why are they on this farm now? Is that just
that's where they're hiding. That's where they're hiding. Yeah, keeping a low profile. Did the Empire come there yet?
They had that ship in the sky. That's it.
Okay, they haven't like talked to any Imperials or anything. I will not spoil anything going forward. Yeah. Very, very. For some reason, this was controversial for some viewers in the 3rd episode. I don't know why all of a sudden a lot of fans were shocked that I'm trying not to spoil it, that the Empire that has no morals would, I don't know why people were shocked that an Imperial officer would try to sexually assault someone, but that happens in the 3rd episode. I won't say who.
This is like mature Star Wars.
This is adult Star Wars.
Like, you literally see people getting eviscerated on screen.
Yeah, this show is not for kids because it's so strange. I don't know. I thought that, and I know I'm only bringing it up now because it's a hot button topic.
Mm-hmm.
When I watched that scene, I was like, this is what this show has done so well, is actually made the Empire not just like mustache
scary.
They're not mustache twirling evil bad guys. They're also like disgusting.
They're like terrible people.
They are evil, like
none
in
of
every
them are
single
good.
way. Yes, and they're making like individual officers be evil. And I like that. They're the villains. They are the villains. It's okay in a story for the villains to be bad people.
Yeah.
It's the whole point. I mean, the whole point of the show is to show just how evil the Empire is.
We needed a show like this, like you just said, to show how evil the Empire is. Also to show, like, backstory a lot easier. I feel like when a show is more mature, it can show a lot more in less episodes.
Yes. Yeah, it's... I don't know. I think that if you're going out of your way, personally, my personal take, if you feel differently, that's fine. If you have this like you feel like you need to take a stand against Andor for having a sequence like that in the show,
go look at other movies that are out right now.
I guess I don't see why it makes you so upset. Like why would it bug you that the evil fascist regime
does something
and
evil.
And an evil officer in that regime who is a bad person would do something bad?
And it's all fake.
It's
all fake.
And it didn't just show up out of nowhere. It was led up to.
It had context
in the prior two episodes. I mean, just my take. Obviously, if once I'm on the show again with someone who has seen the episodes, and if it comes up in conversation, we'll talk about it again. But I don't see an issue with it at all. Like I'm
gonna go home and finish Peak Door.
God forbid we have real conversations about real issues in Star Wars. Oh, don't make Star Wars political. Don't make Star Wars political.
It sounds bad.
Do you not watch Star Wars? It's always been political.
Palpatine's whole thing was he wanted to be the leader of all the politics.
What? A literal politician? Prequel fans be like, I hate when Star Wars gets political. Meanwhile, I love talking about I love talking about trade routes and tariffs in my prequel trilogy, but I hate when Star Wars gets political.
It's literally all about the politics running the Jedi Order.
What?
Isn't that crazy?
No.
Actually, real quick before we continue with Peak Door, I noticed a lot more watching Revenge of the Sith, not only on the big screen, but again. Because as I've gotten older, I haven't watched it in a minute.
Yeah.
As I've gotten older, I've started to recognize more things.
Yeah.
And it's also on the big screen, you recognize small details, like the one droid that talks to Yoda when Padme's giving birth. He has a little mouth.
Ooba.
I looked over and started smiling when that part happened.
Bro, I don't want pregnancy in Star Wars.
I don't want politics and pregnancy in Star Wars.
I don't want social and political issues in my Star Wars.
Because what everyone really wants is, I want frog one. I want green one. I want blue one.
Anything else you want to talk about Peak Door?
Yeah. I was just putting that as a little side note. I am really excited to see what ate a whole person and left the leg in the boot.
It's a little underwhelming, I will say that. Yeah.
But, that's also another thing. They're showing this stuff, that's also scary. That's why I like a little bit more mature Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's nice to have something like Clone Wars, where even then, though, Clone Wars had, the most brutal deaths ever. But, this is, live action stuff. It's different. I don't think we need a Death Troopers movie. I think we just need story and, good context with the mature stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. What'd you think about all the Mon Mothma?
Mommy Mothma?
Mommy Mothma?
The only space MILF?
I mean...
Lizard Sackhoff.
By the way, Katie Sackhoff is going to be at ICCCon 2025. Use code BLITZ10 on your tickets. That's right.
Serious?
Code BLITZ10 for a 10% off discount on your tickets before April 30th.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I have a discount code.
This video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends?
This video is sponsored by ICCCon.
This video is sponsored by Gatorade.
Gatorade. Call me asparagus.
I was happy to already see Luthen again. And whatever his assistant's name is.
Clea.
Yeah.
Not Leia. Clea.
Alcohol addiction in Peak Door before GTA 6.
I mean...
Makes it even more peak.
I mean...
Gambling and alcohol addiction in Star Wars.
I think that's a little too mature for Star Wars. But literally we've had gambling and strippers in Star Wars since the 80s. But I think that Andor's being a little too mature.
Look at Jabba's palace, and I want you to think about how messed up that whole
Guys, just remember,
is.
Gambling and strippers are okay for 12-year-olds.
It's okay for everybody. I support it. Alcohol addiction and gambling is peak. Now,
who needs enemies
drinking while driving?
Who needs enemies when you have friends like these?
Who needs enemies when you have edibles?
Who needs enemies when you have veggies in the fridge?
Flowing out the fridge, dude.
Flowing. Just gotta restock them every week.
Yeah,
That's how many veggies I... All right, Logan. Before we
I'm not done.
just spiral into total chaos, what else do you have to say? You only saw one episode.
Yeah, well, there's a lot in that one episode.
Then talk, spit.
I like these little groups that I'm seeing forming. Dedra and Krennic already getting close. That other fat dude and the other, like, they were two randoms. I don't know their names. They probably do have names. Talking about, like, how they want to figure out the Gorman situation. I like how it's, like, you see the point of views of everyone. I think Dedra is taking an aggressive view at it.
Now, what's cool...
That's why Krennic likes her, because he's a very aggressive person.
I watched Saw Gerrera's monologue from season 1, and Saw Gerrera mentioned the Gorman front.
I didn't ever notice that.
I didn't catch it until after I watched these newer episodes. I thought it was just a random, like, name drop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited to watch these other 2 episodes, though.
Yeah.
I think this is definitely 5 million times better than season 1. Already.
Oh, dude. Way, way, way.
Like, I don't feel as bored as I did. Well, also, I was a lot younger when I watched season 1.
I wouldn't say better. I think it's on par with season 1. I think it's just that the action is a lot more prominent. Because I think what they were doing in season 1 is trying to, like, have this slow burn build up to the last episode, which was just this explosion of action. And I mean, at the end of every, like, 3 episode arc in season 1, you did have, like, they break out of prison, or, Cassian escapes Ferrix, or at the end of the show, everyone, fights back on Ferrix. But it was like a chain reaction that led to that final episode, whereas this is 4 self-contained stories.
I'm not gonna lie. I love this show even more, noticing how they're, like, making it so you see how scared people are in the early rebellion.
I want everyone to clip every time that Logan has said he hates Andor and it's a boring show. And then juxtapose that to now.
Good luck finding those clips, they don't exist.
Chat, clip that.
Chat, clip that, make me big.
One more thing.
Make me big.
One more thing.
Make me big. One more thing. But, no, like, you literally see how, like, terrified people are of being a part of the early rebellion, because they know how bad it could be for them. Yep. It's easier to weed them out because there's not a lot of people yet.
Yep. And they're not unified.
Like how she says, are you ever scared that you could die tomorrow?
Yeah. They're not unified yet.
I don't remember everything from Cassian's speech, but it was definitely a great speech. You can tell he's, like, locked in to the rebellion from the start.
Geeked versus locked.
The woman was geeked.
She was geeked and he was
locked in.
Yeah.
I don't know why that, like, Stormtrooper was just reloading his rocket for, like, 20 years right in front of the TIE Fighter.
Because it takes a while.
Well, like, bro didn't move. He didn't, like, walk out real quick.
No, I think he was standing his ground, dude.
El moron.
It was sick. I have that action figure coming in from Target.
Also, that, TIE Avenger was very durable. That thing took so many hard hits.
It really did, didn't it?
Did it have shields on it? Is that why the wings looked like that?
It had to have taken, yeah.
Because you see TIE Fighter wings, they look like the one right here. Like that weird, like,
the solar panels.
On them.
Solar panels.
Yeah, that one didn't have that. It looked like shield generators.
I think it's because it was a training ship is what I saw. That's why it was all plated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also, I think they probably put, like, some shields on that. Cause
it had to have had shields. Big. It also had a hyperdrive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cool ship.
Yeah. I agree.
I hope we get some sort of merch for that ship.
Oh, dude, I would totally pick that up.
A Hot Toys scale TIE Avenger.
At Star Wars Celebration, they, on their, the Hot Toys vendor display, they had a Hot Toys scale TIE Fighter and TIE Interceptor. Not that they would ever release them, but just they made them and had them on display.
How tall were they?
Oh, dude, easily, like, probably 6 feet tall.
My god.
Yeah, because it's going to be twice as big as this Black Series one, you know?
That's so cool.
Yeah.
You literally feel like an infant in that.
Yeah. So, yeah, it probably would be about as tall as these shelves here.
That's so cool.
They also had an Anakin's Interceptor from Revenge of the Sith.
No way!
And a Mando's N1.
That's awesome.
But those two are listed coming soon on Sideshow.
Birthday gift?
I might RSVP for the N1.
Birthday gift?
Or Anakin's Interceptor.
Bro's gonna hang him from the ceiling with fish wire.
Yeah, with fishing wire. And then they'll decapitate me when I'm sleeping.
Yeah, overload them with veggies. And
yeah.
That's all you need. Dude, you know they overloaded every ship with veggies.
Veggies, bro. It fits in the budget. We need to end this episode. We've been waffling. All right, guys, if you want to see...
Got some good stuff down, though.
Yeah. Do you have anything else you want to add?
I'm going to finish Peak Door, and I will drop what I think somewhere.
In the Discord?
Yes.
No, he won't.
I don't go in the Discord, dude.
He admits it. All right, guys. As always, make sure to check out all the links in the description below. Subscribe if you're not yet subscribed to Blitz Transmissions. I have awesome Star Wars content coming out all the time. Thanks again for watching this episode of the Blitzcast. We'll catch you for the next one, and may the Force be with you.
Breaking off. All units, fire at will. 1-2, pick a target. Too many, Captain. Watch your stabilizer, Gold 6. Anybody cover me. I got 2 vultures on my tail. Gotta hold them here. Watch your left. I can't shake them. I'm hit. Where's our reinforcement?